All right. All right. Well, today on the conversation, we're actually going to continue the conversation about fatherhood, but we're going to flip the script a little bit. We're going to ask the women what they think of fatherhood and father say. So sit back and let's get ready to start the conversation. Come and listen, laugh, and link up on real life topics and subjects that matter to you here on the conversation with Corinthus Alston. All right. Welcome to the conversation. Without the conversation, we can't have the understanding. We have a special guest today with us. I'm excited. I am just pumped up. We got Andrea Best from The Spacious Place. Yes, Andrea Best from The Spacious Place. I asked her to come and join me in this conversation. I wanted a woman's viewpoint on what they think of fatherhood. Do they think we lost it? We crazy? Or should we be celebrated? So you know what? Without further ado, we're gonna bring in Andrea Best from The Spacious Place. Come on, let's give her a hand clap. All right, come on.
Having me. I am so glad to be here having this conversation. I think it's so necessary.
All right. Well, we're gonna jump into it. See, I just want to hit off. Do you think we need to celebrate Father's Day? And the reason I ask that because there's some women saying that, you know what? Not really. What's your thought?
You know what? I think everyone loves to be celebrated. And so I think that Father's Day should absolutely be a time to celebrate fathers, grandfathers, uncles, father figures. I think that it's an opportunity. Do we need to have Father's Day? No, but we don't need to have Mother's Day. But I think it's such a good opportunity to celebrate the men in your life who have been fathers, who have played those roles, who have been there. I think it's an opportunity to celebrate them, and I think that they appreciate it, honestly.
Let's do a deep dive. Do you think it's important? You're a mother, you're a wife.
Yes.
But I mean, if you looked at it just from the development of your children, do you think it's important to have a father or father figure in their lives?
100% yes. I think that not only from my children's perspective, just knowing what role my husband plays in their life, but just the understanding of what role my father played in my life, and so to have that understanding and to know that there were so many things that my father poured into me knowingly and unknowingly. I think that is so important to recognize that fathers are so important in a child's life. Just from the things that I see my husband model to my children that they pick up and don't even realize it. I think about my daughter. My husband is an early riser, and he is someone who will get up early. He's very routine. He was a very responsible child, and I see that modeled so much in our home that my daughter has picked that up.
Wow.
She has become this little mini Ray, who is my husband, and I think it's because he is modeling this. And that goes both ways. You could be a model in a positive way, but you could also be a model in a negative way. But I think that having a positive father figure or father in your life is so, so important.
So let's look at that. Let's look at it a little deeper. Fatherhood for men, when men look at it, means a lot. It means different things. All right. And some of it from a man's perspective is, oh, I'm the man. I'm bringing in the finances. I'm the provider. Then there's the man who thinks, hey, I'm the protector. Right. So there's all these roles that as a man, hey, I'm a man, and I have a wife and son that we we think we have to shoulder, right? So, from a woman's perspective, looking from fatherhood, do you think it's important that the mother of the child, if it's the wife, it's the girlfriend, the boo, whatever it is, baby mama, we got that. Is it important that they support the father being a father?
You know, I absolutely do, but one thing that I want to challenge is for fathers, just
Mm-hmm.
because you grew up with a certain view of
Mm,
fatherhood doesn't mean that that's the end all be all for the way that you should uh, parent. You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of experiences that we have that we want to either do away with in our parenthood, or that we want to keep. And so I think that if you were the type of father who has grown up when your father has, just been a provider, and he wasn't that nurturing, or he wasn't didn't spend that much time with you, but you never went without. I think that's a great quality to have as a father, but that's not all there is to fatherhood. And I think that men need to understand that yeah, this may have been the way that your dad parented you, and yeah, you grew up to be a fine young man, but um, that's not all there is. And so as a wife, I think I would challenge my husband in a respectful way, not
mm.
like you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that, but I would challenge him to open up his perspective, and to try to get him to see a different perspective on what fatherhood means, and what he wants to give to his children that he may not have had as a child.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Because because fatherhood, the role has changed so much from 30 years ago, or
Absolutely. Absolutely.
from when our father brought us up. I give you here's one that is completely totally different. So
Mhm.
I'll be 50 this year, and I can count the times my father hugged me and told me he loved me.
Mm. Yeah.
So so Jackson all the way around. I hug him. I tell him I love him every day. Matter of fact, I tell him love him 25 times a day. Actually,
Right.
actually
Yeah.
sometimes, because I didn't understand how important that was. That it wasn't just from a being a provider, or saying good job, but that they felt that dad loved them. And
Yeah.
so do you feel that's important, that again, because again, from men's perspective, there's that masculine side that we always want to show, and
Hmm.
sometimes that nurturing side that you just brought up, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard because
Yeah.
some of us never had that example, so we don't even know what it is. So that's why I was wondering,
Absolutely.
supporting. Do you think it's very important that the mother support the father, not just being a father, but almost helping him grow, in that role, in that
Absolutely.
capacity, with their child.
Absolutely. I think that it reminds me of just the way the conversations me and my husband have when he interacts with our son, because there's this standard, like you treat your boys different than you treat your girls, and while there is a difference in some ways, um, I have to support my husband in him being more gentle with our son, and not just because he's a boy, but because he is sensitive. He is, but my son is more like me, where he's very sensitive, and so I have to really support my husband, and kind of model for him that yeah, he is a boy, but he needs to be nurtured just as much as our daughter does. And that's tough, because my husband growing up, he has an older brother, and it's not like they were. football playing, and
Yeah.
that's just not something that they grew up with. So and their mother was also, kind of tough love on them as well. And so
Hmm.
I think that it's super important that I support my husband, and also kind of model in some ways, like, you know breaking down those standards and generational things that have kind of just been taught to us, and just, you know passed down, that this is the way um, you should be acting as a father.
Wow. Wow. So from your perspective, fatherhood plays an important part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because sometimes, like I said, sometimes you do have single mothers,
Hmm.
and they have to play both roles.
Yeah,
Sometimes. And like I said, I know that that's challenging and stuff of that nature. And I know you're not in that situation, but
yeah,
but as a man, I still think that you have to put a dad figure somewhere,
yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
in the
And I
picture,
think
somewhere in the picture.
right. I think that comes in so many different ways. That can come in the form of a coach, in the form of an uncle, a grandfather. My
Oh
husband tells
yeah,
me
oh
all the
yeah,
time,
oh yeah.
his stepfather, his grandfather, some of his football coaches that he's had in high school have played such an instrumental role in who he is as a father today. And I think that you can't discount that, because they were there to model some of the things that, even if you have a father in your life, like I had a wonderful dad in my life, but there were also men like my older cousins who I was able to look to and, pull different things from. And my grandfathers who I was able to look to and pull different things from, and receive love in a different way that my father may have not given me, but I was able to, receive that from my grandfathers, or, older cousins that were able to teach me in some ways. And so I think that any father figure is important. And I think that we need to be understanding, like, you know, even if it's not your biological father, a father figure is just as important.
Wow, wow. So okay. So let's get about this Father's Day. Okay, why do we just get the tie? Okay, you know what? Why do we just get the tie or the dinner? Why why can't we get the PlayStation? Why can't we get
You know what?
the vacation?
So I
What's
can
going on with
only
that?
speak for me personally. I am a horrible gift giver. I will be honest. Because, and I don't know if it's because my husband he is very simple in the things that he wants. For Father's Day, he just wants some alone time. He either wants alone time, or he wants something practical.
Me
And I
too.
feel
Me
like
too. Me too.
that
Just woo. Just shh.
right, alone time or practical. And I think that it's just so different for women. It is for me, honestly. I want to go out to brunch. I want to get gifts. I want a
Oh
spa
yeah.
day.
Ooh. See, I'm already having deja vu. See. I get a list. There
I
you go.
know. And you know what? I think it's we just don't put a lot of thought into it, honestly. But I have learned.
Do we don't got a song. Okay? I mean,
I
we
know.
need a song. We got
I
Mama.
know.
See, that song, we don't even have a song. Someone need to give us a song.
I know.
We
That's
need
true, and I don't think fathers get enough credit. I will agree with you on that. I don't think they get enough credit, um, because the role is so important. And I think, and I was talking to my husband earlier today, and I think that if we understood the true what fatherhood truly means when we look to where our first fatherhood is stemming from God, like we would just have such a different perspective. Like, we would if we let that relationship define fatherhood,
Hmm.
and also motherhood, but especially fatherhood, if we let that relationship be the defining factors, like, okay, you're not just a provider, you're not only, a protector, you're not only this. I think that we would appreciate fatherhood so much more in the role that it plays in the children's lives. And as we get older, even as adults, I think we would appreciate it so much more and put a little more thought into Father's Day.
Okay, because we want a good gift too.
I
We
know, I know,
we want
I
a good
know.
gift. And here's the crazy thing. You know what? You know what most fathers want? We just want 24 hours by ourselves. We love y'all.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing wrong with
I
that.
know.
We love y'all. We just want 24 hours. No one call our name. No daddy, honey,
Yeah,
sweet. We just want it's quiet.
yeah, yeah. No, I get that. I get that. Yeah, I really get that. And I think that sometimes, sometimes we are givers of gifts that we think y'all gonna like, but it's not like, just keep it simple. And so,
Wow.
like, yeah, I think that and honestly, I think it also depends on the father. You have to know the father that you're treating.
That is
Like my
true.
husband, he's simple, but my dad, he is more of the, you know um if I know that he's been talking about some gadget that has just come out, I know that's the gift that he's going to be talking about, for
That's right.
for the
That's right.
next year to the next
That's a
Father's
birthday.
Day.
That's a good birthday gift. That's a good Christmas gift. We
Right.
simple. We don't need that much. We might bring it up five, six, seven,
Exactly.
8 times for you. We might even send you a picture. You can go right here and
I
get it for
know.
us. So
Exactly. I know.
So no. I really appreciate you coming to the conversation to actually have
Of
this. I'm
course.
actually excited about this because I wanted to get other women's perspectives about it. We talk
Yeah.
about it. I have some interviews with some men, but I wanted to get a woman's perspective and their thoughts and opinion. Now we know we got to talk
Yeah.
about your show, right? Since you're here, you
Absolutely.
we got to talk about it.
I'm
So if
representing with a
everybody don't
sweatshirt.
know, Andrea. She has a show called The Spacious Place. Great podcast. Definitely go out and listen to it. You can get it everywhere. She got some children books. She got a lot of things going on. Look at that. I just did your
Yeah.
plugger right there for you.
I
So,
know, right?
so I just did your plugger. But no, you're gonna have to come on because I want to have more of these conversations where a there's two viewpoints.
Right.
There's a
Right.
man's viewpoint and definitely want to get your opinion from a woman's viewpoint. But it's interesting though. I'm just gonna go back really quick that
Yeah.
you said you was talking to your husband about if a man looked at fatherhood from how God looked from fatherhood, and you know what I
Yeah.
was not to get too deep, but I was going through the Bible and I was going through the Bible and guess what? Just in there everywhere in the Bible, it says that the father is responsible for raising his children.
Yeah.
It doesn't say mother. He said he has a helpmate, but
Yeah.
it's on you, dad,
Yeah. There's
to make
there's a
sure
responsibility there.
that they're socially developed. That yes, you have the helpmate, but at the end of the day, you're held accountable. So
Yeah.
with that said, do you find it hard in this new age of because men want to be men, but you have some women now who want to share that role.
hmm I think there's always balance everywhere. You know what I mean? There's always balance. There are things that qualities that I possess that my husband doesn't necessarily possess. There are experiences that he has that I didn't have growing up. And so there's always going to be a balance. Even if you're not married, I think that even as a single woman, you have these qualities that were crafted for your children. God gave you these children because he knew that you could handle that responsibility. But there's also the responsibility of you as a mom to make sure that your children are surrounded. Like I was saying earlier, it doesn't have to be someone you're dating. Just making sure that your children are surrounded by father figures who will pour the things into them that they need. You know what I mean? And so I think that that's the most important part of just understanding that if it's not, whatever situation you're in, it's important that you are going to be, you're going to take the responsibility of making sure that your children have that balance, of everything that the mother possesses and then everything that the father can bring into the parenthood as well.
Wow. Okay. So give me 2 or 3 things that you want to tell the dad. So if you can give us any, I know. See, why you got to breathe like that? You don't have to breathe like that. We not that bad. We are not that bad.
No.
See,
no,
I'm going to pray. I'm going to have to pray for Ray. I'm going to have to pray for Brother Ray now. Okay, so okay, no. If you had to, from a woman's perspective, if you had to tell a young man he's having his first child, and and you see him struggling, right? And and you're that older sis, right? If you had to give him any type of advice, what would you give him?
So the first thing I would say is no one is expecting you to be perfect. No one is expecting you to be perfect. As a parent, as a father, this is all a learning experience for you. So don't put so much pressure on yourself to be this man. Learn as you go. I would also tell him that it's okay to do things differently. Just because the men in your family may do it this way doesn't mean that that's what your child needs. Learn your child and learn what's the best way to parent your child. So that can mean, learning how to scale back on the yelling. That can mean, and that's for parents in general. That's not just for men, but that could mean doing things differently than what you grew up with, what you see in your family, what you see your friends doing. It's okay to do things differently. And then I think I would just say, like, I mean, it all goes back for me, learning from our father, learning from the model that shows us what true fatherhood is. And I think that any time that you get stuck in a position that you really don't know what to do, man, ask God for that wisdom, because he is the one that's going to tell you, okay, do this. This is the right thing to do. This is don't do that. Don't ever do that again, and he's going to extend you that grace and kind of show you, along the way, because a lot of families we don't have that father figure in our homes, and so we're going from scratch, you know what I mean? And so I think that that's going to be your point of reference, asking your heavenly father, like, what do I do? Because I literally don't know, and don't be afraid to do that. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I appreciate you. I really enjoyed this conversation. Okay. I'm gonna let you plug your own self. Okay, I had to. Okay. I'm gonna let you tell people how they can get in contact with you, how they can listen to your show, how they get a book. When your next speaking engagement, you just let them know.
Gosh. Okay. Well, I do have a podcast. It's called The Spacious Place with Andrea Best. Like Corey said, you can find it everywhere: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, you can find it there. The Spacious Place with Andrea Best. And we just talk about what it's like for women to live freely. So we talk about everything from marriage to motherhood, to friendships in adulthood. I mean, we talk about it all. And
Are y'all talking about us? I know
oh,
y'all not talking
absolutely,
about it. What?
absolutely.
Oh, gee, okay.
It wouldn't be the spacious place if we didn't bring our husbands and our fathers, and it wouldn't be the spacious place.
Wow.
So you can listen to the spacious place on all podcast platforms. You can also, I am a blogger, so you can find me at thebestnewmom.com. You can find my blog post there and follow me there. I also am a children's book author. And so if you would like to purchase my books, Little Boy, Big Joy and Little Girl, Big Heart, you can find those. You can go to my website, www.andreabest.com. You can also find those on Amazon. I have some amazing things coming up for 2021. So make sure you guys stay tuned, check into my website, andreabest.com, because you guys don't want to miss what's going to be happening this year. I just have so many amazing things planned, and I can't wait to take you guys along on the journey.
All right. All right. Well, again, I appreciate you, and you got
Thank
to come
you.
back. You got to.
I know it's so
back.
exciting. It's so exciting to be on this side. It's so exciting to be on this side of the interview. I'm loving it.
All right. Ooh, I tell you. Again, everyone, thank you for joining us with the conversation with Corinthus Alston. Remember, without the conversation, we can't have the understanding. Thank you for being part of the conversation with Corinthus Alston, brought to you by CKJ Live. Come back and visit again to share more real-life topics and stories that matter to you. And remember, without the conversation, we can't have the understanding.